We do not panic. We do not boast. We act. That is all. As the night grew late, Daniel and Maya returned to the observation deck one last time before sleeping. The city lights below sparkled, the orbital stations gleamed, and the hidden ships rested silently in their positions. Daniel looked out at the stars beyond Earth and whispered, "I never imagined humans could do this. The galaxy is going to regret underestimating them." Maya smiled slightly. "We have seen the truth, and soon others will too, whether they want to or not." By the end of the day, the inspectors understood a vital lesson. Earth was calm, polite, and friendly on the surface, but beneath it lay hidden strength, preparation, and discipline that no outsider could match. Every power grid, every communication tower, every hidden ship, and every upgraded station was part of a system designed to respond instantly to any threat. The humans did not need to attack. They only needed to prepare and act at the right time. Daniel and Maya had come expecting a routine repair inspection. Instead, they had witnessed a planet capable of defending itself against a full-scale fleet. They had seen preparation, strategy, and quiet strength combined in a way that no report could ever capture. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and now Daniel and Maya were among the few who understood its true power. As they finally returned to their quarters, Daniel whispered to Maya, "Tomorrow, I want to see how they maintain this readiness. There must be a reason it works so perfectly." Maya nodded. "And I want to see if they can teach it. The galaxy is going to need lessons like this, whether it knows it or not." The humans of Earth continued their quiet work, smiles on their faces, coffee in their hands, and hidden fleets ready in orbit. They had not asked for permission. They had not boasted of their strength. They had prepared, patiently, silently, and perfectly. And the galaxy had no idea what awaited anyone who challenged them. The day after the fleet demonstration, Earth returned to its usual calm routine. The orbital stations hummed quietly, the city below glowed with lights, and hidden ships rested silently in orbit. Daniel and Maya were awake early, both unsettled and amazed. They had spent days watching the humans prepare, build, and quietly show their strength. Now, after seeing the defensive fleet in action, they understood something important. Earth was no longer just a planet needing repairs. It was a power to be reckoned with. Ethan Cole met them at the observation deck. His calm presence was as reassuring as ever. "You saw yesterday," he said simply. "The fleet is ready, the stations are upgraded, and everything works as planned." Daniel nodded. "Yes, and it was incredible. But now, what do you do next?" Ethan smiled. "Next, we continue. We improve. We prepare. And we help others if they need it." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Help others?" Ethan nodded. "Yes. Some planets need support. Some struggle with repairs, defenses, or disasters. We can assist. We have the capacity. And we have the knowledge." Daniel and Maya were led to a conference room where representatives from Earth's administration awaited them. The room was simple but orderly, with maps, screens, and schematics. Grace Bennett, the planetary ambassador, greeted them warmly. "Welcome," she said. "We hope your stay has been informative." Daniel replied carefully. "It has. It has been eye-opening." Grace smiled. "We aim to show what humans can do quietly and effectively. We do not boast, but we prepare. You have seen that firsthand." Daniel could not help but ask, "Why did you keep all this hidden? Why not tell the council what you were doing?" Grace leaned back and clasped her hands. The council would not have understood. They see regulations, repair requests, and reports. They do not see preparation, discipline, or hidden strength. Sometimes it is better to act quietly and let results speak. Maya nodded. She had understood the lesson. Humans did not need approval to prepare. They acted responsibly and silently. Over the next few hours, Daniel and Maya were shown the full scope of Earth's enhancements. Every power grid was optimized to provide maximum output to orbital stations, hidden ships, and city infrastructure. Every communication array was upgraded to transmit over vast distances instantly, coordinating fleets, stations, and planetary systems. Hidden ships from small patrol vessels to massive warships rested in stealth positions, ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Olivia Grant explained logistics and supply management. Everything is tracked, moved, and deployed efficiently. We prepare for any situation, but only act if needed. We never waste resources or time. Daniel watched as she moved between screens and crews, giving short, precise instructions. Every worker followed her orders instantly. Maya whispered, "This is why everything works. It is not just technology. It is discipline, training, and coordination." Daniel nodded. "And they never raise their voices or panic. Everything is calm, precise, and effective." Luke Carter demonstrated the orbital traffic system. Ships moved in perfect formations, docking and leaving with split-second timing. Daniel could not believe the coordination. "How do you do it so perfectly?" he asked. Luke smiled. "We plan, we simulate, and we adjust. Every movement has a purpose. There is no randomness. Everything is ready." Maya noted the hidden fleet movements behind the stations. "And these ships can appear anywhere in seconds," she said. Luke nodded. "Exactly, but only if necessary." Later, Ethan Cole took them to a large screen displaying the galaxy. Earth was called for repairs, but they brought enhancements, coffee, and an entire war fleet. The Galactic Infrastructure Council had sent a message to Earth. It was a standard message, simple and short, stating that Earth needed repairs. According to the Council, the planet's orbital stations were outdated, its power grids were inefficient, and some defense platforms were old and unreliable. The Council expected humans to cooperate. The Council also assigned 2 inspectors to oversee the work: Daniel Brooks, a mid-level inspector who had worked in many star systems, and Maya Lopez, a systems auditor with sharp eyes and a careful mind. Both were trained to follow rules, and both expected a boring assignment. They imagined rusty stations, long repair lists, and human officials who would beg for extensions. It was routine. When they arrived, they did not find what they expected. Instead of chaos or outdated structures, they found calm and order. The orbital stations were functional, the docking bays were clean, and there was a strange sense of quiet efficiency. Human engineers greeted them politely and offered tours. There were coffee machines in every hall, serving strong and surprisingly good coffee. Daniel and Maya had tasted coffee in other systems, but nothing came close to what humans brewed. The humans smiled while offering cups, speaking in simple words, and moving with precise coordination. One of the first humans they met was Luke Carter, a tall man with a friendly face and calm voice. He was in charge of orbital traffic. He guided ships in and out of the docks with perfect timing. Even though Daniel expected delays, Luke made it look effortless. Everything moved smoothly. Cargo ships arrived exactly when needed, shuttles departed on schedule, and no collisions or mistakes occurred. Maya noted the unusual order, but she assumed it was luck or good planning. Grace Bennett replied simply, "Earth offers assistance to any system that requests it. We provide upgrades, coordination, and fleet support if needed. We act responsibly and only with consent. We ask only that the Council acknowledge our readiness and accept cooperation." The galaxy quickly realized the full scope of what had happened. Merchants traveling near Earth reported seeing hidden ships appear and disappear with perfect timing, protecting trade routes without interference. Neighboring planets noticed improvements in communication signals and faster emergency responses. Earth had not forced its presence. It had quietly established itself as a reliable protector, a hidden power no one could ignore. Daniel and Maya returned to the observation deck, watching ships move silently between stations. "They changed the rules," Daniel said quietly. "The galaxy never expected this." Maya nodded. "And they did it without threats, without boasting. They just acted responsibly and effectively. Now everyone knows humans are not weak." Ethan Cole joined them. "You understand now," he said. "We do not seek war, but we prepare. We do not threaten, but we defend. And if others ask for help, we provide it. That is the path of Earth." Daniel and Maya nodded. They had seen the fleet, the upgrades, and the calm discipline of the humans. They understood the message. Earth would not be pushed or underestimated again. Over the next few days, Earth continued its routine. Stations were maintained, ships were repaired, and upgrades continued quietly. Yet the galaxy had noticed. Reports arrived from traders, explorers, and neighboring systems. Every message carried the same realization. Humans had prepared quietly, hidden their strength, and acted decisively when necessary. Daniel and Maya watched as the galaxy adjusted, slowly but surely, to a new reality. During a council meeting, representatives discussed Earth openly. "They followed regulations," one said, "but they have power we cannot ignore. They could defend themselves against a fleet twice our size." Another added, "And they are calm, disciplined, and precise. They act only when needed. They do not boast. They do not provoke." This is unsettling. Grace Bennett's reply was calm and simple. "We act only for protection and cooperation. We do not seek conflict. We offer help. We maintain peace quietly and efficiently." The Council, after long discussion, formally recognized Earth's right to maintain its upgrades, fleet, and stations. They also recommended cooperation with humans when systems required assistance. Daniel and Maya noted the change in tone. Respect had replaced doubt, and caution had replaced underestimation. Daniel walked through the city with Maya later that evening. They observed the calm streets, humans laughing quietly, children playing, and engineers still working. "They did all of this quietly," Daniel said. "They never raised their voices, they never demanded recognition, and yet the galaxy respects them now." Maya nodded. "That is the difference. They act responsibly, even when they are stronger than anyone expects. That is true power." The fleet rested silently in orbit, a reminder of preparation and discipline. Every ship was ready, every system calibrated, every crew trained. Hidden modules, energy grids, and communication arrays all worked together perfectly. Daniel realized that Earth had not only defended itself but had shown the galaxy what humans were capable of: calm, precise, and unstoppable if necessary. The inspectors spent one last day observing Earth's operations. Engineers repaired stations quietly. Supply chains moved with perfect timing. Power grids hummed with energy. Hidden ships moved briefly for exercises and returned to their stealth positions. Humans acted as if everything was ordinary, yet everything was extraordinary. Daniel and Maya understood that this calm, disciplined, and prepared society was something the galaxy had never faced before. Before leaving, Grace Bennett and Ethan Cole invited Daniel and Maya to a final briefing. "You have seen the results," Grace said. "You understand what humans can do. Share this knowledge carefully. The galaxy must understand that we prepare quietly, act responsibly, and defend decisively if needed. That is our path." Ethan Cole added, "Humans do not seek war. We offer help. We provide upgrades, logistics, and protection. But we are always ready. That is why the galaxy will respect Earth." Daniel and Maya left Earth with a new understanding. They had expected a routine repair mission. Instead, they had witnessed preparation, discipline, and power that far exceeded expectations. The humans were calm, polite, and friendly. They brewed coffee, joked quietly, and smiled while building a fleet capable of controlling their sector. The galaxy had underestimated Earth for centuries, but no one could make that mistake again. As their ship left orbit, Daniel looked back at the planet. The lights sparkled, the orbital stations gleamed, and hidden ships rested silently. "The galaxy is going to change," he said. Maya nodded. "And it will be because humans acted quietly, responsibly, and effectively. They did not demand respect. They earned it." Earth continued its quiet work, upgrades, and training, offering help to those who needed it and defending itself if necessary. Daniel and Maya had seen the full truth. Humans were not just capable of surviving, they were capable of leading, protecting, and transforming the galaxy without even trying. And the galaxy, slowly but surely, had begun to realize it. Daniel and Maya were escorted to a control room that overlooked a large dockyard. Inside, a team of human engineers worked on structures that the Council had labeled repair points. What they saw surprised them. The stations were not just being repaired, they were being upgraded. Old modules were being replaced with new ones that looked like they belonged to a much larger star system. The power grids were being replaced with systems capable of producing far more energy than the Council had requested. Communication arrays were not just fixed. They were expanded to cover distant space beyond Earth's orbit. Noah Price, an engineer with short brown hair and quick hands, explained everything to them as if it were normal. "We just want to make sure everything works better," he said. He spoke slowly and clearly, so Daniel and Maya could follow, but there was something in his tone that suggested he knew more than he was saying. He gestured to the equipment around him. "We are adding extra capacity, yes. It will help with energy delivery, transport, and station control. Nothing unusual." Maya noticed that the upgrade seemed too advanced. She looked at the schematics and tried to compare them with standard Council blueprints. Something was off. The new modules were much more capable than needed. Daniel felt it too. The humans were friendly, calm, and helpful, but the scale of their work did not match the Council's request. He whispered to Maya, "This isn't just a repair. They are preparing something." Maya nodded silently. She had seen this before in other star systems, civilizations hiding their true strength behind simple work. While they toured the docks, Olivia Grant, a logistics chief, directed hundreds of workers moving parts from one station to another. She did not raise her voice. She did not give long orders. She just pointed, nodded, and workers moved. Everything arrived exactly where it was needed. Supplies arrived in waves, all perfectly timed. Daniel tried to ask about some cargo marked structural tools, but Olivia only smiled. "Everything is accounted for," she said. "It will be ready when it is needed." During breaks, the humans offered coffee again. Daniel and Maya sat at a table in the control room, sipping the rich liquid and watching the work continue. The humans joked quietly among themselves, laughed softly, and never seemed tired. Every human seemed to know their role and performed it perfectly. Daniel whispered, "Do you see what I mean? Everything is too organized, too ready." Maya frowned. "It's like they expect something big to happen," she said. Daniel decided to scan the area for hidden ships. Maya helped him. They found multiple signatures hidden behind the moon and within asteroid belts near Earth's orbit. There were ships that did not appear in the Council's records. Daniel frowned. These were not small shuttles or transport vessels. They were warships, well-armed, fast, and silent. When he asked Noah about them, the engineer only smiled. "We have many tools," he said simply. "Sometimes they are needed, sometimes not. That evening, Daniel and Maya met with Ethan Cole, a commander who had been quietly supervising the upgrade projects. He was a tall man with a calm voice. His eyes were sharp, and he had a presence that made people listen without speaking loudly. "You will see," Ethan said quietly. "Everything is ready. The planet is prepared. You will not be disappointed." Daniel was unsure what he meant. Maya, however, had already started connecting the dots. The repairs were a cover. The humans were not weak. They were ready for more than simple upgrades. Over the next day, Daniel and Maya observed more. Every repair site had hidden modules underneath. Cranes that lifted supplies were actually part of larger structures. Communications towers had hidden weapons placements and advanced scanning systems. Power grids included extra storage that could run entire cities for months. It was all hidden but visible to anyone who looked carefully. Daniel could not hide his concern. He whispered to Maya, "The Council has no idea what they are sending inspectors to." Maya nodded again, quietly. Despite the hidden strength, humans never acted aggressively. They worked calmly, smiled, and spoke politely. They joked while carrying massive loads. Children ran near the docks, playing safely, watched over by engineers who never stopped working. Daniel thought about this. The humans were strong, but they were not showing it. They were waiting. But for what? On the third day, a council representative contacted them. "Have you noticed any deviations?" the message asked. Daniel hesitated. He knew what to say. The repairs were unusual, but technically within regulations. Everything had correct paperwork. The humans followed instructions but exceeded expectations. Daniel answered carefully. "All repair work is complete and compliant," he wrote. "No deviations beyond standard enhancements." Maya reviewed the message before sending. She agreed. It was true. Everything was correct. Yet both knew the truth. Humans were not just repairing. They were improving, preparing, and hiding their full capabilities. Daniel and Maya decided to investigate further. They visited hidden hangars beneath the largest stations. Inside, rows of new ships waited silently. There were small patrol vessels, mid-sized support ships, and even larger warships with advanced energy shields. Maya counted over 50 ships that were never listed in the Council's registry. Daniel could feel his heart race. "Why would they need this much?" he whispered. "These aren't just upgrades. These are weapons. They are preparing for a fleet." Noah Price appeared again, smiling calmly. "Everything is ready," he said. "We always like to have extra capacity. It is safer for everyone." He did not lie. Technically, they were not breaking rules. Technically, every module, every ship, every system had a purpose and could be justified as repair or enhancement. But Daniel and Maya both knew that this was not routine. That evening, Daniel and Maya attended a dinner hosted by human officials. Ethan Cole, Olivia Grant, and other leaders were present. The table was full of simple food, bread, and coffee. Humans laughed softly, told small stories, and asked questions about Daniel and Maya's lives. Everything seemed normal. Yet Daniel could not stop thinking about the hidden ships, the secret grids, and the hidden energy modules. It was all too quiet, too normal, and too ready. Over dessert, Daniel asked Ethan, "Do you expect trouble?" Ethan looked at him calmly. "Trouble comes for everyone eventually," he said. "We prepare quietly. We act only when necessary." Daniel nodded slowly. Maya added, "You are ready for anything?" Ethan smiled. "Always." By the end of the first week, the inspectors realized the truth. Earth was not just being repaired. It was being upgraded into something far beyond what the Council had imagined. The humans were friendly, calm, and polite. They smiled, served coffee, and worked tirelessly, but underneath it all, there was preparation, strategy, and hidden strength. Daniel and Maya had come expecting a routine mission. Instead, they found a world ready for anything. The humans had not asked for permission. They had not announced their intentions. They were simply preparing quietly behind smiles, polite words, and coffee machines. As Daniel looked out from the observation deck at the vast docks, the hidden ships, and the new stations gleaming under Earth's sun, he realized that the Council had made a mistake. They had underestimated the humans. They had expected weakness. Instead, they found readiness, discipline, and hidden power. Maya placed her hand on his shoulder.
I think we are in for a surprise, she said quietly.
Daniel nodded. He had no idea what would happen next, but he knew one thing. Earth was not the same planet the Council had raided for repair. It was a planet that had been waiting, quietly and patiently, for its moment. And Daniel and Maya were standing at the edge of it all, watching without knowing how far the preparation truly went. The next morning, Daniel and Maya returned to the orbital stations with a mix of curiosity and unease. What they had seen in the first week was remarkable, but today they would see even more. The human teams had started the second phase of their work, and the scale of it was overwhelming. Daniel had expected minor enhancements, better power systems, faster transport, but what he saw was something completely different. It looked like Earth was building for a war, though the humans themselves never acted like soldiers. The first site they visited was an old docking station, labeled Class C Repair Hub. Daniel had walked past it before and assumed it was a small facility. Now it had been transformed. Cranes that once lifted small cargo containers now unfolded into tall structures capable of moving massive sections of space stations. Docking bays had been expanded with hidden lifts that could hold dozens of ships at once. Every surface was polished, every connection secure. Maya was scanning the schematics and could hardly believe the numbers. These upgrades, they are far beyond what's needed for simple repairs, she whispered. A human engineer named Noah Price approached them again, carrying a small tablet. "Good morning," he said cheerfully. "You're here to see the next step, yes?" Daniel nodded. "We want to understand your work," he said. Noah smiled. "Of course. It is simple. We improve the systems, make them better, safer." They walked together through the dock. Daniel noticed a strange hum in the air. It was not the usual vibration of machinery. It was smooth and controlled, like energy flowing through a perfect channel. He looked around and saw power conduits running under the floor, glowing softly. Each conduit connected to modules hidden from view, modules that were clearly not needed for simple repairs. Maya's eyes widened. "They are storing more energy than this station could ever use," she said quietly. "Why?" Noah glanced at her with a calm expression. "Sometimes we need more," he said simply. He did not explain, and they did not press. It was difficult to get answers from the humans, yet everything was transparent and professional. Nothing was secretive in a dangerous way. It was just that the scale of preparation was enormous. Next, they visited the power grid stations. Daniel and Maya had seen power stations before. They were functional, efficient, and sometimes impressive. But these stations were on another level. Massive energy converters, shielded generators, and layered conduits covered every surface. Daniel tried to compare them with standard council designs. He could not. These stations were capable of powering entire cities for months, yet they were hidden inside normal-looking buildings. Maya noticed energy output lines pointing toward orbit, toward hidden docks, and toward communication towers. "It is not just power for Earth," she said. "It is power for the orbital stations, the hidden ships, and more. Luke Carter appeared again, guiding the inspectors through traffic management areas. He moved calmly, pointing to screens, directing virtual ships as if it were a simple game. Daniel asked him, "How do you handle so much traffic?" Luke smiled. "We prepare. We plan. Everything has a path. Nothing collides." He paused. "Sometimes it looks like a lot, but it is just work." Daniel frowned. He knew the answer was more than just work. Later, they entered a hangar that had been completely rebuilt overnight. It was huge, filled with ships in various stages of assembly. Small patrol vessels rested on landing pads, medium ships were being fitted with modular shields, and enormous warships sat in quiet readiness. Maya gasped. "I counted over 60 ships here," she whispered. Daniel nodded. "And these are not even all of them," he said. "We saw hidden ships beyond the moon, remember?" Olivia Grant appeared near them, moving efficiently between crews. She gave instructions with a nod, and teams responded instantly. "All these ships are for upgrades," she said in simple words. "They will help if needed." "Everything is ready?" Daniel asked. "Needed for what?" Olivia smiled and said, "We hope not to find out. But we prepare anyway." Her calmness was unsettling. The humans never seemed worried, never raised their voices, yet their work spoke of preparation for a threat far greater than routine repairs. Over lunch, Daniel and Maya sat with Ethan Cole. The commander had a quiet presence that demanded attention even without raising his voice. "You see our work," Ethan said. "You understand it, yes?" Daniel nodded. "Yes, but I do not understand why it is needed." "The council asked for repairs, not this." Ethan smiled slightly. "Sometimes the council cannot see what is coming. We prepare quietly, we act only if needed." Maya looked at him. "Are you expecting trouble?" Ethan's eyes remained calm. "Trouble comes for everyone eventually. We do not ask. We only prepare." After lunch, they visited the communication towers. Daniel had seen many towers in other systems, but these towers were different. Each was covered with layers of equipment that seemed ordinary at first. Then he noticed hidden arrays, energy sensors, and long-range transmitters aimed far beyond Earth's orbit. "They can see deep space," Daniel said quietly, "way beyond what the Council requires." Maya nodded. "And they can respond fast," she added. "Look at these grids. They connect to the docks, to the power stations, and to the hidden ships." The day grew longer, and Daniel and Maya moved from one site to another. Every place they visited had been improved in ways that seemed ordinary until you looked closely. Old repair platforms had become multifunctional command centers. Cranes had hidden capabilities to move enormous equipment quickly. Supply modules were reinforced with materials stronger than needed. Even coffee stations had dual purposes, acting as monitoring points for technicians and engineers. By the evening, Daniel and Maya were exhausted. They had walked for hours, yet it felt like they had only scratched the surface. The humans were calm, polite, and welcoming. They joked quietly with each other, served coffee, and never seemed tired. It was unsettling to the inspectors. How could a people so calm create such a massive hidden infrastructure without revealing their true power? As night fell, Daniel and Maya returned to the observation deck. The city lights below were bright, but the hidden ships in orbit remained unseen from this distance. Ethan Cole appeared beside them. "You have seen much today," he said. "But there is more. Much more." Daniel asked, "More?" Ethan nodded. "Everything is ready. Everything can be activated if needed. The council asked for repairs. We gave upgrades. They will thank us someday." Maya looked at him carefully. "It looks like you are preparing for war," she said. Ethan smiled. "We hope never to fight. But preparation is better than regret." Daniel glanced at the stars beyond Earth. Somewhere out there, he knew, enemies waited. They underestimated humans. They thought Earth was weak. But now Daniel understood that this planet was far stronger than any report had suggested. For the next few days, Daniel and Maya watched as humans continued their work. Modules were installed at a staggering speed. New ships arrived in secrecy, hidden behind asteroid belts or orbital stations. Engineers worked tirelessly but never hurried. Olivia Grant directed supply chains with ease. Noah Price explained upgrades with calm words. Ethan Cole supervised everything with quiet authority. Luke Carter moved ships and controlled traffic as if it were a simple game. Every human seemed ordinary at first glance, but the efficiency, coordination, and hidden strength were extraordinary. One afternoon, Daniel asked Maya quietly, "Do you think the Council realizes what is happening here?" Maya shook her head. "Not at all. They expect weak repairs. They do not see the hidden ships, the energy grids, or the upgrades." Daniel nodded slowly. "And if trouble comes?" Maya smiled slightly. "Then the humans will be ready. They are always ready." The human teams worked without complaint. Even when Daniel and Maya tried to ask direct questions about the hidden ships or the advanced power grids, the humans would answer simply, with no hesitation, but never reveal the full picture. It was as if the humans had a secret they would never share unless absolutely necessary. At one point, Daniel noticed a group of technicians moving a large object beneath a repair station. It looked like ordinary machinery, but the size and shape suggested otherwise. He tried to ask Noah about it. "What is that?" he said. Noah smiled. "Just a structural module. It will help with stability." Daniel frowned. Something in Noah's calm smile told him he was not being told the whole truth. Maya noticed it too. She whispered, "Everything here has a double purpose, even the simple things." During one late night, Daniel and Maya observed the orbit from the observation deck. Hidden among the stars were small flashes of light, ships moving silently, avoiding detection. Daniel whispered, "They are training them." "Or testing them." Maya nodded. "Or both." "They are ready for anything." Ethan Cole appeared behind them. "You see the truth," he said. "You see what others do not. Humans are always prepared. We do not boast. We do not threaten. We simply act when needed." By the end of the second week, Daniel and Maya understood the full scale of Earth's hidden strength. The planet was calm, polite, and friendly on the surface, but beneath it there was preparation, discipline, and readiness that no outsider could ignore. Every repair station, every power grid, every communication tower, and every hidden ship had a purpose. Every system was designed to respond quickly and effectively to any threat. Daniel and Maya realized that their expectations of a simple repair mission were wrong. They had come to oversee minor upgrades and fixes. Instead, they were witnessing a planet transforming itself quietly, efficiently, and completely, far beyond any council specifications. Humans were preparing not for simple repairs, but for anything the galaxy could send their way. As they left the observation deck that evening, Daniel turned to Maya. "This planet, it is not just ready. It is dangerous. In the best way." Maya smiled. "And they do it all with smiles, coffee, and quiet work. Imagine what they can do if they have to fight." Daniel nodded. He had seen the calm, friendly humans. He had seen the hidden ships. He had seen the preparation. One thing was clear. No one in the galaxy understood the real power of Earth. And Daniel and Maya were now among the few who did. The day began quietly, with sunlight reflecting off the orbital stations and casting long shadows across Earth's surface. Daniel and Maya arrived at the observation deck early. They had spent weeks watching the humans prepare, improving their planet quietly and efficiently. but today felt different. There was a tension in the air, subtle but unmistakable. Daniel could feel it in the hum of the power grids and the quiet movements of engineers in the distance. Maya noticed it too. "Do you feel that?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "Yes, something is about to happen." They watched as small shuttles moved from the hidden docks toward the outer orbital platforms. At first, the movement seemed normal, part of routine testing. But then the scale became clear. Ships they had not seen before, medium-sized combat vessels, and even larger warships, slowly organized themselves into formation. It was precise, coordinated, and silent. Daniel tried to speak with Luke Carter, the logistics officer. "What is happening?" he asked. Luke smiled calmly, his hands moving across a holographic control panel. "Nothing unusual," he said. "We are only testing movement and coordination. Everything is normal." Daniel frowned. Everything looked anything but normal. Ships moved with perfect timing, almost as if they were following commands faster than anyone could give them. Maya noticed that even energy fields from the power stations aligned with the ship formations. Every ship was connected, every movement calculated. Noah Price appeared nearby, carrying his usual tablet. "Good morning," he said. "You are here to see the next stage. Everything is ready." Daniel looked at him. "Ready for what?" Noah smiled. "For what may come. Nothing more." Maya exchanged a glance with Daniel. They knew there was more than Noah was saying. By mid-morning, sensors detected something in the outer system. A fleet had entered the edge of Earth's territory. Daniel quickly scanned the readings. The ships were large, armed, and moving as if expecting little resistance. "Pirates? Raiders?" he asked Maya. Maya shook her head. "No, these are organized. They are looking for an easy target." Daniel's stomach tightened. "And they are about to find something they did not expect." Ethan Cole appeared beside them, his calm presence giving both inspectors a strange sense of reassurance. "They are coming," he said simply. Daniel frowned. "What are we going to do?" Ethan did not answer immediately. Instead, he gestured toward the stations and the hidden ships. "Watch," he said. "You will understand." The first wave of ships entered the system, scanning for weak points. They expected unarmed stations, disorganized defenses, and minimal resistance. Daniel and Maya could feel the arrogance in the energy readings of the attackers. They thought Earth was a simple planet, easy to take or intimidate. Then the humans acted. Without warning, the orbital stations shifted. Cranes rotated, revealing energy emitters previously hidden behind ordinary structures. Power grids adjusted their outputs, feeding energy to defensive shields and weapon systems. Communication towers lit up with signals connecting ships and stations instantly. Hidden ships moved from stealth positions, forming protective formations around the planet and the orbital stations. It was not chaotic. It was precise, rehearsed, and terrifying in its efficiency. Daniel and Maya watched in silence. Every human operator, from Luke Carter to Olivia Grant, moved calmly. There was no panic. Engineers adjusted systems and energy flows while maintaining their usual polite smiles. Ethan Cole gave simple hand signals, and the fleet responded instantly. Daniel realized that every day of preparation had been for this moment, though the humans had never revealed it. The hostile fleet tried to attack. They fired energy pulses at what they thought were weak stations. The pulses were absorbed or deflected by shields they had not noticed. Drones deployed from hidden ships and silently disabled the engines of the attackers' smaller vessels. Daniel could hardly believe what he was seeing. Every action the humans took was controlled, calculated, and overwhelming in precision. Maya turned to Daniel. "They are not just defending," she said quietly. "They are teaching a lesson." Daniel nodded. He saw a cruiser try to approach one of the orbital docks, only to be blocked by a perfectly timed energy net. Another ship fired missiles that were neutralized before leaving the launch bay. The humans were not in a hurry. They were patient, waiting for the perfect moment to act. As the battle continued, Daniel noticed small details that others might miss. Hidden ship engines flared only briefly, then disappeared from scans. Power grids adjusted energy flows dynamically to maintain shields and weapons without overloading. Communications were instant, precise, and encrypted, but the humans executed every order without hesitation. Maya was scanning the attackers' fleet. They thought they could win, she said. They have no idea what they are facing. Daniel felt a chill. The council never imagined this, he said quietly. They never would. Earth is different. Maya nodded, and calm. They do all of this calmly. Hours passed, but the battle felt shorter than it should have. The hostile fleet was gradually surrounded, blocked, and disabled. Not a single human ship had been lost, and the orbital stations remained intact. The attackers realized they had underestimated Earth, and one by one, they began to retreat. Daniel watched their energy signatures fade into the distance. Maya let out a quiet breath. They didn't just defend, they controlled everything. Ethan Cole approached the inspectors again. You understand now, he said. This is why we prepare. We act only when necessary. The council requested repairs. They did not ask for readiness, but readiness is better than regret. Daniel nodded slowly. And you did all of this without aggression unless attacked? Ethan smiled. Yes, we do not start wars, we end them before they begin, if we can. The humans began to restore normal operations almost immediately. Power grids returned to standard outputs, ships returned to hidden docks, and orbital stations resumed their quiet, polished routines. Daniel and Maya noticed how seamlessly the humans switched between calm daily operations and full-scale defensive actions. It was astonishing. Noah Price approached again. Everything is ready for normal work, he said simply. Daniel asked, normal work? Noah smiled. Yes. The council inspections, repairs, maintenance, nothing else. Maya looked at him, sensing the unspoken truth. Nothing was normal here, but to the humans, this was routine. Later, Daniel and Maya walked along the observation deck, overlooking the orbital stations and the city below. Maya turned to Daniel. Do you understand now? She asked. This is why Earth was never considered a real threat. They hide it well. Daniel nodded. And they can defend themselves against fleets far stronger than anyone expected. This planet is not just upgraded. It is unstoppable, if they choose to be. That evening, the inspectors were invited to a small gathering with Ethan Cole, Olivia Grant, Luke Carter, and other human leaders. The table was filled with simple food, coffee, and quiet conversation. Humans laughed, joked, and shared stories as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Daniel and Maya tried to join in, but both were still processing what they had witnessed. Olivia Grant smiled at them. You saw the fleet, she said simply. It is always ready, but we hope never to use it. We prepare quietly, and we act only if needed. Daniel nodded. You were patient, calm, and precise. It was unbelievable. Olivia only smiled. That is how we work. Points of light marked systems, trade routes, and potential threats. We monitor neighboring systems, he explained. Some face raids, pirates, or disasters. We can offer assistance without interfering, unless necessary. The fleet is ready to respond instantly, but we never act without reason. Daniel looked at the screen, seeing a network of prepared stations and ships spanning the system. Maya whispered, This is not just defense. It is influence. They can help others and protect themselves at the same time. The council soon sent an urgent message, demanding explanations. They had noticed the fleet, the energy surges, and unusual communications. They wanted to know why Earth had exceeded repair specifications. Daniel and Maya were asked to deliver the response, though they had little understanding of what to say. Grace Bennett reviewed the message and smiled. We will submit the facts, honestly, but framed carefully. We do not hide, but we do not brag. The results speak for themselves. The official report listed all enhancements, upgrades, and fleet capabilities. Every modification matched regulations, technically speaking, but in practice, the power, readiness, and coordination far exceeded expectations. The report explained that Earth had improved infrastructure for efficiency, safety, and emergency response, with no intention of aggression. The Council read it carefully, slowly realizing the implications. Daniel and Maya observed the Council's reaction from their comlink. Initially, there was disbelief, then concern, and finally, cautious respect. The humans of Earth had not broken regulations. They had acted responsibly, quietly, and effectively, but the results were undeniable. The fleet alone could deter any potential threat, and the upgraded stations could maintain stability across the system. After the Council's deliberation, they issued a formal response, asking for guidance and clarification.